I will strike them with my sword, but governors in Iraq or Syria couldn't indulge in luxuries. But after Umar's death, I am amazed at those who do not find enough to eat. How much wealth did you have before becoming a ruler? Welcome back to 60 Men Who Changed History. Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, leader of opposition, enemy of wealth, the most truthful person who walked on earth. One day the Prophet asked Abu Dharr, "How will you be when leaders come who hoard wealth for themselves?" Abu Dharr replied, "By the one who sent you with the truth, I will strike them with my sword." But the Prophet, in his wisdom, offered a profound alternative. "Shall I guide you to something better? Be patient until you meet me again." Why did the Prophet pose this question to Abu Dharr? Why link rulers and wealth? A lifelong mission. The Prophet understood Abu Dharr's destiny, shaping his struggle with this advice. Be patient. Abu Dharr took this to heart. Though he would not raise a sword against the rulers, he also wouldn't remain silent. If the sword was not his weapon, his sharp and unwavering voice in truth would be. Under the reign of Umar, a watchful eye. The era of the Prophet passed, followed by the times of Abu Bakr and Umar, periods marked by simplicity and resistance to worldly temptations. Umar's leadership demanded an almost superhuman level of asceticism from rulers. Governors in Iraq or Syria, for instance, couldn't indulge in luxuries beyond the means of ordinary people without facing swift judgment from Umar himself. Abu Dharr thrived under Umar's strict governance, as nothing disturbed him more than the abuse of power and wealth. The death of Umar, a turning point. With Umar's passing, the doors of temptation and indulgence began to crack open. The expansion of the Islamic Empire brought not just wealth, but also the dangers of greed and corruption. Abu Dharr saw this threat clearly. Power, which should humble, was becoming a tool for dominance and wealth accumulation. He was ready to draw his sword, but the Prophet's words echoed in his heart. His role was not to kill, but to object. Words sharper than any blade. The Prophet once declared in front of his companions, "The most truthful person who walked on earth is Abu Dharr." Abu Dharr's truthfulness would become his weapon as he stood before rulers and the wealthy. He reminded them that Islam came as guidance, not as a tool of wealth and oppression, as a path of humility, and not arrogance, as equality and not privilege. Warn those who hoard wealth of a fire that burns. Abu Dharr launched his attack on wealth and power, moving from city to city, rallying the poor and oppressed. His message was simple yet terrifying to the elite. Warn those who hoard gold and silver of a fire that will scorch their foreheads and sides on the day of judgment. Wherever he went, his words became a cry of revolution, a chant among the people. Warn the hoarders of fire became a phrase that followed him everywhere, shaking the very foundations of power. Syria and Muawiyah, a clash of visions. Muawiyah, may Allah be pleased with him, ruled over the prosperous lands of Syria, distributing wealth freely to secure his position. But Abu Dharr saw the dangers of this unchecked luxury. Without hesitation, he rushed to Syria to confront the growing wealth. As he arrived, the people greeted him with awe, flocking to hear the words of the Prophet's companion. Looking at the wealth around him, Abu Dharr exclaimed, "I am amazed at those who do not find enough to eat, yet they do not rise up, sword in hand." Yet once again, the Prophet's command for patience held him back from revolution. Instead, he taught the people that leaders must be the first to feel hunger when their people suffer, and the last to enjoy comfort when their people prosper. Creating a public opinion. In Syria, Abu Dharr's voice shook the empire. If he had called for revolution, flames would have erupted across the land, but his goal was to create an unstoppable public awareness, a voice of accountability that no ruler could ignore. His debates with Muawiyah spread like wildfire, carried on the wind to every corner of the Islamic world. Abu Dharr, the man of unshakable truth, stood before Muawiyah without fear. He questioned him in front of the people. How much wealth did you have before becoming a ruler, and how much do you have now? Abu Dharr's words were a sword sharper than any blade, cutting through the wealth and greed that threatened to destroy the very spirit of Islam. May Allah bless us with the same ability to speak the truth in face of oppressive rulers. This story proves that it is perfectly permissible for an ordinary citizen to question the ruler about his wealth in public. Unlike the first generation, we aren't seeking a new faith. They faced greater challenges in a harsher environment and with fewer resources than we have today. The obstacles they overcame were immense, yet they persevered. With their example as our guide, we too can rise to the occasion. Thanks for watching. If you want to share your thoughts on Abu Dharr and his life, please leave them in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more videos on Sahabahs who dared to challenge the system. Your support means a lot to us. Together we can rebuild a just and vibrant world. Tawheed Foundation.